Yo, it's your boy, Coach Lou, Logical Lifting at the Zucchine, aka the House of Strength. And today's topic is the best exercises for size and strength. And in the background, you're going to see my recent leg day, which was absolutely fire. Everything felt great. I didn't think it was going to because I slept like shit the night before. I think I got a 195 kilo double pause squat with the camber bar, 185 for 4, 165 for 9, and the last set, 105 for 20. But man, that pause just takes it out of you. With a good morning, I think the top set was 145 for 9, and again, 105 for 20. Then we did some belt squats. Then I played about with the glute ham raise, raised the back foot plate, which made it a lot harder, and finish off with some back raises and glute ham GHD sit-ups. So yeah, it was pretty damn good. But anyway, on to the actual topic. The best exercises. Now we hear this phrase being thrown about a lot, especially now on like Instagram and TikTok and all that shit. What are the best exercises for certain muscles? You know, people always come up. There's a video like every other day that comes up like the best exercise for triceps, the best exercise for lats, the best exercise for chest, the best exercise for hamstrings, all this shit. The best exercises for overall like body development and all this shit, size, strength, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Realistically, excuse me. Unless you compete in a given strength sport or a given sport, there are absolutely no mandatory exercises. Like some coaches, they try and force feed certain lifts, and they've likely got good intentions because, you know, I don't force feed lifts, but I do kind of have a handful of big, heavy basics that I do push onto people initially. But if they can't do them or they really don't want to do them, we do something else. But again, let's face it. The squat, the bench, the deadlift, the press, the row, the pull-up, they're all phenomenal lifts. They are going to pack some meat on your frame and make you potentially a better athlete. Depending on the application, they will make you bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic, etc., etc. I think that's what Kanye said. But are they absolutely necessary? No. Are they the best exercises? No, of course not. Maybe. Who knows? Because it depends. It all depends on the individual. But let's quickly summarize. The best exercises, or the best exercise for any muscle is, drum roll please, to do multiple exercises, to do more than one exercise for that muscle. 2 or more. Yep. Training muscles through different planes, different angles, slightly different ranges of motion can help us ensure maximum stimulus and growth. And it helps us avoid overuse issues or injuries. For example, if someone says bent over rows are the best exercise for your upper back, are you just going to do bent over rows? Is that all you're going to do forever? It's likely a good way to throw your back out, I reckon. Also, talk about boredom. That sounds shit. Even if it was the best exercise, I still wouldn't do it on its own solely forever. It would come down to a boredom thing with me, but also probably an injury thing because you're just doing bent over rows every freaking time. So, no exercise is magic, but let's break down what makes a good exercise. I've used good in quotation marks, but let's just break it down. What makes a good exercise for developing size and strength? Number 1, it suits your individual structure. You know, for example, I'm 5'5". If I bring a guy who's 6'8", we might have some slight differences, you might think, in our structures, in our morphology, our limb lengths, our insertions, or our joint angles, stuff like that. You know, let's take the squat for example. Contrary to popular belief and what gets promoted heavily, squats, back squats, any kind of barbell squat, safety bar squat, whatever, squats are not the greatest leg builder. I know, shock horror, heresy, blasphemy, all that shit. Yep, I'm going to gym hell. I know. Squats come with a list of limitations, you know. You're always limited with the load you can use by other factors, you know, core strength, your lower back, your upper back, shit like that. It's not usually your legs that are the issue. You know, that's why people can squat, say, 200 kilos and leg press like 800 pounds. I know, I've mixed up measurements there, but you get what I'm saying. You know, people can usually leg press a lot more than they can squat because the leg press takes away these limitations or limiters to the lift. Also, for some really tall folks, they might not even be that good at adding mass to the legs, especially the quads, but they might be. That's again an individual thing. Number 2, they develop your individual weaknesses or address your individual goals. Like, there's no point hammering, say, the pec deck if your pecs are already massive, but you're trying to build your bench up and it's your triceps holding you back. You dig? You know, there's no point absolutely smashing the leg extension, you know, building your quads up, trying to, like, you know, fix your squat when it's your hamstrings that are the issue, you know, or your glutes or even your abs that are the issue. They're the ones holding you back, your limiters. That's why we need to choose accessories and assistance lists wisely and not just pick exercise out of a hat. Number 3, more often than not, because this doesn't always apply, but more often than not, they take the muscle through a full range of motion. Again, not always necessary. I do some partial lifts. I do some, like, you know, pin squats, block pulls, rack pulls, pin bench, pin press overheads. And some lifts just can't take the muscle through a full range of motion just due to the nature of the lift. But for the most part, they do. So yeah. Number 4. The best lifts for you are ones you enjoy doing. Shit. With so many exercises to choose from, you might as well pick ones you like. If you absolutely loathe or despise a lift, you're far less likely to do it, obviously. You know, we can talk about mindset, mentality and all that shit with this, but let's just say if you don't like a lift or you don't like doing something, you're probably not going to do it, or at least you're not going to put any drive into it. You're not going to put much effort into it, and therefore you won't progress. You won't get the results you want from it. Number 5, is this? No, I forgot. But ones that don't hurt. This is a big one, obviously. Like, if someone says, oh, dips are the best chest exercise, they're the upper body squats. But every time you do a dip, your sternum or your shoulders are in absolute agony and you can't do them loaded, you can't, you know, do anything like that, you struggle to get about 10 because you're in so much pain, then are they really the best exercise for you? Probably not. There's probably other options that I would choose rather than going through all that pain and potentially fucking yourself up for no benefit. Dips are great, don't get me wrong, they're not magic. Number 6, I assume, ones that you can easily progressively overload. Any barbell lift is great. Dumbbells become a bit harder due to the instability, but that's something we'll get onto next. Machines are fantastic for progressively overloading. Machines are amazing for hypertrophy and therefore raising your strength ceiling. So I'd say indirectly, but directly building your strength. You know, machine work is not something to be feared or looked down on or scoffed at. And this is kind of like a revelation, because young Lou was like a barbell fanatic, you know, or a specialty bar at least fanatic. You know, machines were worthless to young Lou. You know, the leg press was lame. You must squat or else you're a pussy. But, you know, older Lou, he's getting a bit more wise. He's getting wiser. And machines definitely have the place. And, you know, after like the main heavy work, I have no problem having someone do the rest of their entire session on machines or using machines. Like, take something like the squat versus like the hack squat or the pendulum squat. If you're trying to build big quads, I know what I'd do. And it's definitely the more stable one, which is what we'll get onto now. Exercises that aren't unnecessarily unstable. You know, Bosu ball squats. Who the fuck built big legs off them? No one. Don't even answer. No one. No one has ever built big legs doing Bosu ball squats. Not at all. Even stuff with like, you know, the bamboo bar, like the band bell stuff, you know, with the really shaky stuff where you hang like the bands and the kettlebells over it. They're cool for certain purposes, but for hypertrophy, probably pretty shit. And therefore, for strength, not the best. I'd say they're more of like either a rehab tool, like a GPP tool, or even like a tester, you know, if you want to test how strong you are, an unstable freaking thing. But I'd rather, if someone's going to do something unstable, I'd rather them have a shaky bar than a shaky surface, if you get me. So yeah, this is again where machines come in. Like barbell lifts, they're great and they are pretty stable, but they're not as stable as machines. Machines are absolutely fantastic for stimulating hypertrophy. They are amazing. I know that's a complete turnaround from young Lou. But yeah, those little 7 points are what makes an exercise good for size and strength. So take that away, make of it what you will. That's today's video. Sweet. See ya.